and welcome to this Statman News Brief. I'm here with the boys from the pod, Colin Power, David Bruno, and of course myself, Adam Luciano. Cinque Maggio! One of the greatest days in Juventus history. Colin, why don't you take us through it?
Hi guys, very welcome. Cinque Maggio, a very famous day in Juve's history. Obviously, the 5th of May 2002, Juve won the Scudetto. They were in a head-to-head race, three-way race really. Roma, Inter, and Juve. Juve played Udinese. They won, and it all went to shit for Inter. In Rome, they played Lazio, and real funny situation because the Lazio fans on the day didn't want Roma, who were also in the race, to win. Lazio at the time were just fighting for a place in the UEFA Cup, or what's now the Europa League, and they actually cheered for the Inter team. Cheered against their own team in the game, and Juve went 2-0 up early on against Udinese, and it looked like Juve would be fine, so Roma wouldn't win. So then all the Lazio fans turned around and decided to support their own team again, and Lazio came through. Some pretty big goals from Karol Poborski at the time. Some would say he's an honorary Juventino now. Everybody remembers him. Diego Simeone scored on the day as well. And it really was, a gift, because all the newspapers, all the media outlets in the weeks running up to the game had given up. This was Inter's league. Inter had been dominating that year almost throughout the whole Campionato, and it was a surprise, a real gift, and I guess that's why Juventini remember it. I think it'll probably go down forever. I mean, this is nearly, what was it, 2002, so it's nearly 20 years ago, and people still celebrate it. So
one of the greatest days of my life. I can remember waking up very, very early over here. The Juve game was on first. They won, obviously, but I was never expecting to happen in Rome what happened. I remember getting out of the shower. I believe, what was the score? Inter were up in the game?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, boom, Lazio has the win, and we win the Scudetto, and I went to the cottage, celebrated with my family. And that's what makes this day so special for me, was family. It was one of the last days we celebrated all together, my whole dad's side of the family, up at Wasaga Beach, the cottage, with my grandmother. Great day. Bruno, you have anything to say on this subject?
Wasaga Beach, great place. If you're in Canada, go check it out. It looks like paradise. You'd think you're in Bermuda.
Topic, Allegri or Zidane. A lot of buzz on the internet today, especially on Twitter. Questions being asked, who would you rather have, Juventini, Zidane or Allegri? Two club legends, but only one coaching spot. Colin.
Oh, tough question. I'd like to see Zidane. That's my personal opinion. I love Zidane. He's one of my favorite players when I was growing up. He probably was my favorite player. But also I think he's done a great job with Real Madrid. I mean, the first time around, he won three Champions League titles in a row. Probably something that will never be repeated. And everybody says, okay, well, you had Ronaldo. Anybody could do it. I don't know. Could you? I mean, like, we have Ronaldo for the last couple of years, and we didn't do it. So, you got to give him some credit, is my point. I know the rest of their team, the midfield, Casemiro, Modric, Kroos, we don't have that, but fantastic team. But even this time around, I think he's done better.
What do you think about Allegri, Zidane? Which one for you?
I'd like to see Zidane come in at some point. I mean, he's got the Champions League titles. He's got 2 league titles. One in his first ring with Madrid. He left. They went downhill. He came back, saved the day, won the title, won the Supercopa d'Espagnol that same year. I mean, Zidane, he's different, right? He's got a great team, but what I like about Zidane is that he had Ronaldo. He had that pure attacking team. And then when he came back to Real Madrid, he was working with kids. And what we're trying to do right now is change the generation and go to the youth and bring people up from the academy. Zidane has done that with Real Madrid, and he's done it finely.
You know, I
He
would love to
just
see.
went out. He just went out in the semifinals today, and that's still an accomplishment.
And I would
You
love
can
to
say
see
getting to the
Zizou
semis.
at Juve. I would love to see it, but unfortunately, Juve sometimes they're a little bit cheap, and Ronaldo, excuse me,
Or the heart.
Zidane will cost a lot of money, and to make that guy move from Madrid back to Torino, it's gonna have to be a big paycheck to convince a man of that lifestyle to change it, and I don't see that coming anytime soon. I think Allegri will probably get the job if it's not, of course, Pirlo. Next topic, Morata's renewal. Colin, what do you got for us?
Yeah, Fabrizio Romano tweeted out today, and I think he mentioned it on his podcast, Here We Go, as well, that Juventus are seriously considering extending Alvaro Morata's loan for, the value of 10 million. What do you guys think? Would you renew? Would you let him go?
I'll take this one, Colin.
Yeah.
Morata, when he first came back, I was kind of happy. I said, you know what? This is romantic. You know? Plus, I'm a big fan of his wife. Very beautiful girl. But not just that. Morata, he's something about him. I thought he was going to come in, spark this club. We were going to maybe get back to what we saw when was he last year, 2015? And it just never happened for him. He sort of tailed off halfway through the season. Would I renew him? At that figures, I think I would. David Bruno, what do you say?
Yeah, I would do it too. At the end of the day, look at him. He's got 9 goals, 9 assists in Serie A. He's definitely shows that he can have grinta. We know he has confidence problems, and he can overreact when he gets pushed the wrong way in games, which can lead to cards. But at the end of the day, he loves Juventus, and we know this.
He's Fino alla fine.
Exactly. He wants to be at the team. He has the heart like Chiesa, but he has the confidence issues, and even a little bit about the mental depression that he had at Chelsea that he pulled out and spoke about. So, I mean, he basically what he says is he needs to feel loved to be at his best, and he's been pretty good throughout the season. He's dropped off a little bit. I mean, he scored 2 games ago.
Well, with the fans back next season, we'll definitely see if Morata is loved or not. That's if he's here. But this morning I woke up and with a little bit of shock on my face as I saw Colin Power put out a tweet on our Max Statman account. Colin, why don't you tell us about that very special tweet?
Oh, you're talking about Del Piero.
Oh,
okay.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Alessandro Del Piero took his first UEFA coaching license test today. So it's been reported a while, actually, that, both himself, guys like De Rossi, Bobo Vieri, they've all been taking their coaching badges, and it's obviously people always keep tabs on Del Piero, and a lot of fans may be wondering, what would it be like to have ADP back at Juve, in some shape or form, and it's kind of sparked a lot of discussion. Would you have him back, or maybe in the future? For me, I'd never rule him out.
How I feel. I don't want him here, not because I don't love him, but that's because I don't want him here. It's because I love him so much. And if the same thing happens to Del Piero, what we suspect is going to happen with Pirlo, I don't know if I'll be able to live with myself. David Bruno, what do you say?
I hear you on that one. He's a club legend. You don't want it to tarnish it. I mean, personally for me, whatever happens with Pirlo, loved him as a player. That won't change. But it makes a total sense thinking that. And sometimes maybe it's not best to go right back to, your original club. Go somewhere else for a bit at least, right?
I agree. Maybe MLS. Maybe
get the experience.
Exactly. Yeah. MLS, I think, would be perfect for him. He's living in Southern California right now with his family. I don't see him leaving there anytime soon. I think his first professional coaching job will be in that league, and I hope he does well. Colin, you have an update, a Super League UEFA update. Why don't you bring up our last topic, please?
Yeah.
Give us an update on this.
So ESPN are saying, I'm reading this in Tudor Sport, that you know, basically UEFA are looking to ban the Super League teams, the remaining Super League teams. So that's Real Madrid, Milan, Barcelona, and Juventus out from UEFA competitions for 2 years. So, but yeah, that's come from ESPN. It's not a confirmed source. There's no statement from UEFA. But I mean, personally, when I read this, I think, yeah, that's BS. I can't see it happening because I don't think they broke any laws. You know what I mean? They had a court ruling before they started the whole project, and you know, all of these big businessmen, like, there's no way they're going to sign contracts without, you know, consulting lawyers and stuff. And I just don't believe that they broke any laws. Now it's interesting to because this has all come from Ceferin. You know, I mean, over my right shoulder, you'll see Ceferin out. Like,
Beta milk.
yeah, absolute. Yeah, I can't stand the guy. So today, then we had Gianni Infantino. He's the FIFA president. He spoke in L'Equipe, and he came out against Ceferin. Like, he said, basically no to the Super League project, but also no to the sanctions. You know, so he's against the sanctions for those clubs. Because this is going to have repercussions for the game, and then you're going to have to deal with those repercussions. You know what I mean? So Infantino is kind of. He also talks about Ceferin's leadership. He says, you know, a man. Wait till I find it. I'll read it here. He said that basically a man in his position needs to think about these things before he actually does it. Let me see. I'll just pull it up.
At the end of the day, they're threats that they're pulling out right now, just like banning the players from international tournaments. Right? They're your big teams. They're the ones that make you the money. They're gonna leave. What are you gonna do? You're gonna come out with threats, right?
Yeah, quickly to come back to that.
I call bluff.
Yeah, but just quickly to come back to that, he says, Ceferin, a leader must also wonder why we arrived to this point and how we can build a future together. So you can take it literally if you want, but I mean, what I see in this is a political operator, and he's pointing the finger directly at Ceferin, and he wants to set himself up as the mediator. He's the guy who's going to make the peace between all of this, Infantino. So, but he's directly questioning Ceferin's leadership, you know.
Well, I know where we all stand on Super League and on this podcast and this show. But,
and on Ceferin.
Ceferin out. But, you know, I want to end this thing on a fun note. And today we saw, or maybe it was late yesterday, we saw something going around Juve Twitter. And it has to do with our boy Thor. I'm hearing our boy Thor owned Merda support.
Brought Mohilnir to Inter, actually. His hammer.
Colin, why don't you explain a little bit more about this?
I'm not sure. I didn't find it. My sincere thanks to all the passionate Inter fans who turned up to cheer for my Hugo Boss billboard reveal. So you can see Chris Hemsworth is in the background. That's Boss. Yeah.
Boss. Very sexy, man.
There we go.
Like David
that's
Bruno.
fine.
I think he has a movie coming out soon. Another movie in a couple of months or next year.
Yeah,
I really don't care. I only pay
Inter
attention
fans.
to Juventus games. Guys, that's all the time we have for today. But we'll catch you on our next podcast on Monday. Big announcement coming there, so stay tuned for that. But for this segment, I'm Adamo Luciano, joined always by David Bruno. And, of course, Colin Power. We will see you next time. Max Statman, news brief.
Ciao, ciao.
Forza Juve.